I'd like to ask you something. Suppose I wanted you to meet some people whose ways are unknown to you. How would I do it? I could just say the name. This is Ben Yosef. Or, I'd like you to meet my friend. With children, of course, nobody has trouble connecting. All you have to do is make kind noises. What a big boy! How about another smile, fella? Come on. What do you hear, sweetheart? Tell me, what do you hear? If they're strangers, anything you say to make them understand they're welcome is the right thing to say. But if it's a person in trouble, you do something extra, don't you? You show you care. You look in their faces. You listen carefully. Talk to them. Touch them. You search for a kind of essence to hang on to. These are the ways one human being gets to know another. Now, let's say you're reaching out instead for a thing, not a person. A complex thing, an institution. A tremendous new medical center, like this one. How do you find its face? How do you talk to marble and brick and steel and glass? Where do you find its essence? Of course, you could take the tour. It's free. It goes like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, here on this historic plateau, we are on the site of the Hadassah Hebrew University Medical Center. We lie 6 miles from the heart of the city of Jerusalem, of which we are a part. Below is the ancient town of Ein Karem. But as you came up on the bus, you saw the thriving new communities, the new homes and streets and roads. You saw our schools, also new, and already bursting at the seams. You exclaimed at our American-style supermarkets. A mixed blessing, believe me. All this is being magnetized into our area because the medical center is a hub of healing, teaching, and research, around which settlers can build their lives with confidence. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen?
When did you open up the center?
We opened officially on June 6, 1961, even before building was completed, because we were so crucially needed here. Now you are standing before a 500-bed hospital which has 2 sections, one radial, the other rectangular. From all rooms, many opening onto the balconies. There are spectacular views.
Heavens, what's that sound?
That sound, friends, comes from the Mother and Child Pavilion, which is nearing completion. Over there. It has 57 beds, but 64 bassinets. You look surprised, madame?
64 bassinets? For only 57 beds? Why?
Well, these hefty workers could really explain it better than I, madame. You see, in this building, we are preparing for lots of twins and lots of triplets, and maybe even quadruplet or 2. That's national policy.
Oh, I see. Obey the commandments. Be fruitful and multiply.
Also still going up is the new building for the medical school, opened in 1949, which will move over from Jerusalem town soon, we hope. We have already graduated a whole generation of physicians. We've taken about 100 students annually. 75 medical, 25 pharmacy, 25 dental. Right next to it, our dental school is going up, from which will come the only pain in the jaw we Israelis shall willingly accept. In the court over there, having their pictures taken, is a newly arrived group of medical colleagues from Africa, one of many being trained by Israel and Hadassah in the healing arts, which, like disease, know no boundaries of race or creed. Well, thank you, gentlemen. It's about time. I was wondering how long before you noticed our beautiful student nurses, whose school is an integral part of our medical center. This is the oldest and still the top nursing school in the land, designed for 150 girls who come from Israel and 23 other lands, no matter what specialities they choose. All leave here with their initials, TLC, after their names.
Meaning what?
Tender loving care.
You don't say. Well, I could certainly use a little of that right now because my feet are killing me.
At this point, you could leave the tool, knowing quite a lot about our medical center. A lot, but not enough. About the essence of it all. For that, you have to come through the great front doors on visiting day and let a volunteer guide from the Hadassah Club for Visitors take you over. She'll probably introduce you first to her colleagues of YAL, also volunteers. The letters mean Helping Hand of Hadassah. These women run the thriving gift shop in the lobby.
We Israelis function just like the hospital auxiliaries and grey ladies in your country. We make and fix books and toys. We read to patients, especially in the eye department. We help administer loving kindness, the wonder drug without which no recovery is possible. Our goal is to relieve and assist our staff in this new but already crowded hospital. This way, please. Our kitchen, ladies and gentlemen. This is the only kitchen in the medical center. A hospital planning masterpiece. It was designed and equipped to serve all requirements of patients and staff.
Gosh, I sure wouldn't want to wash those pots and pans.
Nor would I. Our soup tureens alone hold 50 gallons each.
Will you look at that conveyor belt?
Thanks to this American assembly line, we can easily process the thousands of special diet meals we serve 3 times a day. Strict kashrut is observed throughout. Notice, too, how the trays are loaded according to prescription.
Brother, what a dining room.
And this is our dining cafeteria. A 2-story, split level, as you Americans say, complete with graceful stairway and balcony.
I guess we ought to say, good appetite.
In Hebrew, we say, B'tei avon.
How many can you serve here?
We can serve 600, 800, 1,000 at one meal if need be. There are 260 seats for nurses, doctors, technicians, and staff. Here again, ladies, is something special for you. Let's follow this bundle of used linen, which is being bagged and set down one of many chutes on each floor to the 2-story high basement laundry and its auxiliary room. Contaminated linen is, of course, sorted beforehand. All of it is then automatically accumulated in great receivers. It is washed, tumble-dried in colossal vats. Machine or hand-ironed, sorted as to size and kind, and stacked and stacked and stacked. All this at the rate of 3.2 tons of laundry a day.
Which makes how many pieces?
About 250,000, all of which must continually be in first-class condition.
The biggest linen closet in the world. We call it in our chapter back home.
In here, please. It would take days to show you everything. Central Supply alone would take a long time to see thoroughly.
You know, they put this next to the laundry because they use women to wrap up the instruments.
Right. Instruments are wrapped in linen and paper, too, before they are sterilized. They must be ready for literally thousands of different uses, all of which must be anticipated. Sterilization is in huge autoclaves under controlled steam pressure. Packages can then be inventoried and shelved to provide continuous and automatic stock record. Because these autoclaves work so fast, we can reuse our fabulously expensive instruments quickly. This makes for a tremendous saving because we need not keep an excessive supply on hand. And now follow me to our pharmacy. You know what? If you're tired, miss, my husband here, he's a pharmacist, could explain. Go on, Joe, you be the guide.
All right, let's see. This is such a modern pharmacy, frankly, I can't recognize anything. But seriously now, this evidently is a machine for making pills. And over here, they're counting them. And, as you see here, they're bottling them. All automatically. So who needs to know how to do arithmetic anymore? Know something? It's not so easy to be a guide. Honestly, personally, I've never seen such a collection of biologicals and chemicals and drugs. They must have come from all over the world. How many prescriptions did you say you could fill for the hospital and outpatients a day, miss? 900 in one day?
At this point, again, you could leave if you wished, and have enough facts about the medical center to make a speech when you got back home. But not enough yet to understand that essence we were talking about. It's not enough either just to know that this medical center is for all races and creeds. That to this OPD department, for instance, designed to handle 250,000 visits a year, comes a cross-section of all Israel. Look around. On any day, any time, you'll see nuns and Muslim Arabs, Christian monks and Jewish workers. You'll see the young and the old. The old, hold it. Remember this old man? Let's ask the nurse about him.
Melech Ben Yosef of Kurdistan. Sure, I know him. King Ben Yosef, we call him. A character if ever there was one. He comes out of a 9th century ghetto and has to embrace the 20th century, and that's not easy. Cataract case that needs an operation. He is a great wit. You can meet him every Tuesday on the bus. He comes up all by himself. In Eretz Yisrael, he says, even if your eyes are a little hazy, it's clear and golden. I can see Jerusalem very well, young woman, through the pores of my skin. He has a married daughter who also comes on Tuesdays. You'll see her later, but watch him. Though he can hardly see, he senses that here, there's something dependable. How shall I say it? For the first time in his life, he trusts the hand on his arm, and that teaches us something.
What does it teach you, nurse? Tell us. Here it comes. Listen.
It teaches us that love of Israel can be a factor in the refuah, the cure. The medical secret in our country, mister, is that love and respect are contagious. Take what happened today in the eye department, whose chief started Israel's ophthalmology program for the new African countries. One of the African medical students was asked to attend. The student hung back as though he were wondering how the old man would take to him. But Ben Yosef was a stranger once himself. So as the dark face and the gentle hand reached for him, he sensed something. Then, as though to reassure the stranger, he said, Shalom, Todah Haver, peace, and thank you, friend. His daughter, oh yes, she also comes on Tuesdays with her husband to our class for parents-to-be. She married a Moroccan, not a Kurd, and Ben Yosef kept saying that bringing a man to a class like this to learn woman's work, well, was not seemly. So we began reminding him gently how all his sons had died in infancy in Kurdistan. We said, We are trying to help your daughter and her husband bring forth a healthy grandchild. Ben Yosef may be a grandson, a Kaddish who will live long and be strong. That did it. Now the old boy wants to learn to diaper and bathe the baby, too. That's a revolution if ever there was one.
Have you noticed how no one is ever talked about here as though he were a statistic?
What, after all, is success in a hospital? You see crippled children, and your heart turns over. You have children of your own whose legs and arms are straight, and you feel a little guilty. When the polio vaccine was given out in Israel, Hadassah was in charge of inoculating children in the Jerusalem area. But there were some older ones who got caught and twisted anyway. And some little ones who came too late. David is one of them, paralyzed from the hips down. Another Kaddish who has been stricken. So now we teach the Father and the Son the rituals of healing, which are also holy. The reward? Just to be able to help a baby who is only half a baby giggle and wriggle and laugh and play while we coax the shrunken muscles, wheedle them back.
תן לה לעבור. תן למכונית הקטנה לעבור. ככה. להרים למעלה. עוד כאן תעלה דרך. ילד? טוב.
All of this so we can see him gather together superhuman strength to achieve a stupendous success, actually to kick a bright red ball. Or take Esther, who came here at Purim in time for our party, with her anguished father. Hers is an unearthly beauty. The father is an escapee from a concentration camp. She is bound to him excruciatingly. So he too becomes part of the therapy. She is brought into this room with its black, beneficent dinosaur. A healing dinosaur with a cobalt head, always motionless, waiting. And she must be left alone each time for one small, painless, but terrible moment of exposure. She has a tumor of the brain. We leave her. The monitor goes on. She listens for her father. He stands outside talking through the microphone, saying, "Don't be afraid. Daddy is here."
אבא.
עוד דקה, אולי שתיים. הנה אני
אבא.
The fear goes. A safe interval passes. The healers return. How much is this sick to us? In Hadassah, to try to save one life, just the world. Sometimes it's a smaller victory, and the mother helps in the breakthrough. We have been trying for months to get Sarah Lee, who is hard of hearing, to make a connection in the lip-reading class between a thing and the sound which represents that thing. Say, Booba, Sarah Lee, Dolly. Say, Booba, Booba, Booba. Say boo ba, Sally.
Hagidi boo ba. Boo.
The miracle happens. Sara Lee lights up, and the sun rises. Hundreds of times a day, the sun also rises for us.
Are you beginning to catch on about that essence? Or are you still thinking of a hospital in terms only of emergency, like a television script? Well, emergencies happen here, too.
Time 6:42 a.m. Wednesday, June the 12th. Patient Shlomo Ebon, male, 24, unmarried, native of Israel, member of Kibbutz Aryeh, carpenter. Fell from scaffolding, emergency OPD, report attached. Diagnosis, depressed skull fracture. Indicated, operation to reduce pressure.
What can you say about an operation? There's always more than one victim in every emergency. Always somebody who does the waiting.
There is always the surgeon to be called and helped to dress and scrub up and put on his gloves. What else shall we say? The anesthetists made ready. They ask for drape, clamps, scalpel. Like in a drama, it always is a drama. Or rather like a quiet, orderly, unemotional, formal, antiseptic ballet. And yet for us, who have spectacular equipment and people who know everything science knows about saving lives and advancing knowledge, for us, this moment is eternally exhilarating.
תודה לכולכם.
But so is this, which matters just as much, and is the grand finale of everything we do. The essence of it all for us is never to lose the tenderness which says to the sufferer, you are not alone.
Nobody goes around preaching in a medical center, of course. To see and feel this essence, which has many aspects, you must go in search of it. You may have to be an expert to find it, especially if you go where the teaching and the research, that infinite spying into the remaining darkness of our universe, are going on. Nearly 100 research probes are always underway into everything, from cancer to arthritis, from heart disease to parasites. And to help those who do the probing, we must make every bed a research bed, every station a new frontier. But you don't have to be a specialist to find it. It's present in every classroom, in every nurse, teacher, and pupil, from whom there comes a kind of joy which illuminates everything they touch. There are no menial tasks, and therefore no menial people in this place. The essence of it all is offered freely, in every laboratory, by every instructor, to every pupil, in every treatment, for every patient. It is especially palpable between colleague and colleague, between us and those who come from far away to learn from us. The commandment is to love thy neighbor as thyself, and it is paramount everywhere. It is paramount, and it wears a crown. The crown is where it should be, at the end of the plaza, beyond the pool. Under the flag which reads, Aruchat Bat Ami, the healing of the daughter of my people. It is in the synagogue where the artist Marc Chagall says it this way, in his windows on Jerusalem. There is the light of the sky and the participation of the good Lord. The material is the material of nature, and all that is of nature is religious. For the artist, the essence is a mysticism passing through a window. For us, Isaiah has said it this way, they helped everyone his neighbor, and everyone said to his brother, be of good courage. Now that we have been introduced, do come again. Come often.